Sorry, Lloyd. This time of year just gets to me. Gonna be hemming and hawing like that until December. Okay, almost, almost through my backlog. Now, there's just a few that I put off because they were meant to be reviewed months ago, so we'll get to them next, since putting them off a little bit more couldn't hurt. But this movie I actually just watched last night, so it's very fresh in my mind, and that is another Cinema Snob movie. So, follow up to Brad's previous The Cinema Snob movie, and, well, I again liked it, but as before, it is strange to be reviewing another reviewer's work, but again, here we go. Now, this one came out in 2019, and clearly has much bigger budget. So about 3 years ago now, and there's definitely a lot more. Everything seems a lot more polished, from the effects to the camera work to just everything looks sharper. And in front of the camera, everything definitely works very well. It's good to see watching these two pretty much back to back. Definitely, you can see the progression in quality from here to here, and it is a noticeable leap forward. Now, this movie is set years after the previous one. Now, if the first one was an origin, now this is the Cinema Snob trying to get another movie going because he's tired of being the Cinema Snob and wants to be known for something more, so he creates a movie. But the best he can do is create the Cinema Snob movie. So we see essentially a tongue-in-cheek parody of this film, except for it's done through as a terrible sci-fi film. And after it gets booed off the stage in order to salvage his career, he makes an appearance at a Comic-Con, but that doesn't go well. So his director, Neil, this time played by Rob Walker, pick up two other YouTube stars, then Sandra Sings, played by Tamara Chambers, and Bicycle, played by Corey Goodwin. Then Sandra Sings is a pretty much unknown YouTuber who just sings about her day, while Bicycle is an online video game streamer who has gotten a lot of flack for making fun of circus folk. So he's trying to come off the controversy and is trying to become more approachable. So all of them get in a road trip to go meet with Brad's father, who's a big TV deal, who can help try to salvage their careers. And away they go. And they go through, well, redneck nowhere and get accosted by everything from cannibals to shock collar wearing clowns to it gets into a really surreal journey to a guy who's determined to race them. It's weird, it's wild, and it was a lot of fun. I will say the comedy for me was hitting a lot more. It's still fairly reference heavy, but his references are more to his own work rather than just other ones or to films he's actively talked about before, so it's a little bit easier to follow in that regard. And Brad even seems kind of self-aware of that, as Tamara's character actually comments at one point that she didn't get his references, but the way he said it was funny anyway, which is kind of the experience where we're watching some of Brad's more obscure stuff. So Brad knows his character completely down, so he's just doing his usual thing. Rob Walker is definitely taking the character of Neil in a slightly different direction, making him a lot more controversial, but he still has the same wackiness that Jake brought to it, but this time takes it to a more sinister, almost Werner Herzog style, abusive towards the cast I don't know if Herzog, that was more rumors for Herzog, I don't know if that actually happened, but that sort of extreme director kind of thing. So, those all come across great. The other two that joined them are very entertaining as well. And I do kind of like the chemistry that Brad almost seemed to have with Tamara. For a while, I was wondering if that was almost going to go into like a new romance arc, just because she more than once commented that he's a lot nicer, and as he's kind of just checking on her, seeing if she's okay. So they had good chemistry here. The movie's weird, and there's a lot of Channel Awesome favorites who make cameos or other roles in it. So it's the usual suspects doing weird shenanigans, but for me, this one felt tighter. It felt more polished. I really like how they point out all the terrible cliches movies have, particularly ones that Brad on his other works has commented that he hates so much, between fake out dream sequences to a movie that starts a scene that starts in the middle and then jumps back, and this movie proceeds to do all of them, but intentionally so. So every cliche they point out, they pretty much do in some fashion. It's very self-aware, very so the comedy can be very on the nose, but it's kind of intentional, and it was working for me. The situations they get into, the characters react very well. It's just watching them. The main cast is almost like a series of straight men to even stranger things going on, and it works very well. So I gave the first movie a 5. This one I did like more. It's still hard to kind of grade a movie like this on a curve. I will say the effects definitely were better. There's even one gory scene that definitely went a little bit more over the top in the cannibalism area, but nothing too bad. It turns down some of the sleaziness that the first movie had. The first movie was deliberately being kind of sleazy, so that kind of worked because that's the style of movie it was homaging. This one, it's a lot more straightforward. Uh, I don't know if I could quite rank it up into like the high into my good rankings, but it's definitely above average. So I'm gonna give this one a 6 MacGuffins. Definitely, I really did enjoy it. I'm glad I picked it up. I do really enjoy Brad's work, and I do look forward to the next movie he does. I have seen his film Paranoia, which I'll review at some point. I have to rewatch it, and I own but have not yet seen Jesus Bro. So I look forward to getting a chance to take a look. But again, Brad, if for some odd reason you end up seeing this review, why? I'm an internet nobody. Don't pay attention to me. What I say shouldn't really matter here. But if you're watching this, love your work, Brad. Keep it up. All right. For the rest of the void, that's all on this one. Have a good night, and see you next time, which will probably be pretty soon. Still got just a few more left in the backlog. Ta-ta.